February is LGBT plus History Month in the UK, and this month is all about celebrating the queer voices of history and learning about the history that has come before us. It was started as a way to highlight some people that history might have forgotten, whilst also highlighting some of the past issues and current issues, and hoping that spreading education about various LGBT plus people and LGBT plus issues would help make the world a little bit more understanding and a little bit kinder. Normally, this would mean that there would be lots of events and talks and screenings you can go to, but seeing as Corona is still very much a thing and we're all in lockdown right now, things can't really continue as usual. But don't worry, there's still plenty of ways for you to engage with LGBT History Month and learn a little bit more about queer history. I would definitely recommend checking out the website lgbtplushistorymonth.co.uk. This website is full of information. There are the classic things such as book reviews and some little infographics and information about LGBT History Month itself, but they've also compiled lots of curriculum and teaching resources that they're urging educators to use and bring into the classrooms. But even if you're not a teacher or a elementary student below uni, I'm not English, I don't know, a child who is being taught in school, even if you're none of those things, you can still benefit from going through these resources. Personally, I really enjoyed looking through their posters section that highlights different queer people and the various contributions they've made to history and the world. I think that is a really good starting point to find some names and then go and do some further research on them yourself. As I mentioned, there are book reviews on there, and personally, I love books, and I think reading some books about queer people and queer culture is a great way to engage with LGBT plus History Month. There is a bookshop, kind of this safe haven for queer people, and has been so throughout its history ever since it was founded. It is an independent bookshop that carries LGBT plus books, fiction, non-fiction, graphic novels for adults, for teens, for kids, you name it, they have it. And I would highly recommend that if you find any books that you'd like to read, to have a look at their website to see if they have it, or if you just want to get inspired, to have a look on there. They have a very easy to navigate website and to browse, and you can look at all the various sections they have and to support that bookshop. You know, we all know that independent shops are suffering because of lockdown, and it's a very culturally important place for the queer community in the UK. And also just looking into the history of it, because like I said, it was kind of this like community safe haven gathering place for queer people, and it's really interesting and very touching. Now, I mentioned that there's usually events going on during this month, and the same website, lgbtplushistorymonth.co.uk, has kind of collected a calendar of various events that are happening. These are not events that they're putting on, but other people putting on events have let them know, and they've compiled it on all in like an events section on the website, so you can see if there's any online events that you'd be interested in going to. Now, since you don't have LGBT plus history without an LGBT plus community, I reached out to some of my queer friends and asked them if they had any ideas of how you can celebrate LGBT History Month whilst being in lockdown. One of my friends said that the first thing that came to their mind was Drag Race UK, and I said that that was a very valid suggestion. Drag has a huge place in LGBT plus history. In a similar vein, the Lincoln's very own gay club, The Scene, has been hosting online drag queen shows, so definitely check that out as well. Engage with some not quite as mainstream drag queens, but just as fabulous, and try and see what they've been putting on. A recommendation for something that is very topical right now is the book Trans Britain, Our Journey from the Shadows, which is a collection of essays from various trans and non-binary people in the UK. And when you're reading up on trans history, I would also highly recommend looking into some of the laws and the discussions happening around trans people and their rights in the UK right now, because unfortunately, many of these things, whilst they do belong in history books, they're still happening today, and there's still laws and restrictions and rights being changed and taken away. So I would highly recommend that whilst you're engaging with the history of the LGBT plus community, that you also do a little bit of research about what's happening right now, because that's kind of the point of it, to learn from the past, to gain understanding, and to help make the present a little bit better for all of us.